losing our physical health because we have no rest in our lives. And so I've seen that right here all week long. And so I'm going to teach you some of the things that I've been teaching them. There are 6 things that you cannot do when you're in a hurry. There are 6 things that you cannot do in a hurry. Number 1, and every single one of these 6 things are pivotal to great leadership. Number 1, you cannot have a productive conversation with a productive outcome when you are hurried. Would you agree with that? And so solving conflict, restoring a relationship, finding unity, getting people in your organization all on the same page, it takes honesty, it takes courage, and it takes time. And having a hard conversation when you are in a hurry does not work. In fact, it sends a message that makes it worse. It sends a message that I devalue you. It sends a message that I have already made up my mind, and it's your responsibility to catch up with me. It is a critical part of leadership to constantly hold people accountable in an effective, caring, we call it KDR, with kindness, directness, and respect. It is critical that you're constantly working on leading through conflict, and teammates who have had disagreements and their trust is going down with each other. And that requires conversations over and over and over. And hurried people do not have room for effective conflict resolution, problem solving in their lives and in their teams as leaders. And so one thing you can't do when you're in a hurry is have productive conversations with a productive outcome. Here's the second one. You cannot listen to someone who is hurting in a way that sincerely demonstrates that you care. We have said today, the key to permission into the hearts of your teammates that allows you to be able to lead them because they give you the gift of following, which is called influence. The key to that is not positional authority. The key to that is connection. The opposite of being hurried is connection. So this past week, I got to tell you, those of you who know me well, I know how to reach modern athletes. And there's only one way to reach them, and that is through presence. And so all week long, I have just spent time just being available. The coaches have said, when are you going to start presenting? I said, nope, it's too soon. Okay, are you going to go into our meeting rooms and teach all the coaches and players how to do? Nope, it's too soon. They said, why? I said, because I don't have trust yet. And the only way that I can begin to build trust is not to impose myself on them, but to be available, that they see me and that they begin to approach me and say, hey, Doc, what's up? Why are you here? What's going on? And just be available. So I have walked miles around practice fields this week. And I've got to tell you, my A-driven personality keeps talking. My little Freddie keeps talking in my head and saying, you know what? You're not busy enough. You know, if you were home in Wisconsin right now, you'd be having you'd be working with all kinds of teams. And right now you're just walking around a football field. And I had to keep telling myself, wait a second, you cannot lead without trust. And trust is not possible without being available to the people that you are working with, being present. When you are a great coach, you coach hard. And when you coach hard, you love hard. That's leadership. Some of you right now need to be having some difficult conversations with people that are struggling in your workforce. And they will not receive your information without connection. They will not give you permission to give them difficult information unless they know you care about them. And so here's the cool thing. If the stuff that I'm teaching works in an NFL locker room, it works in your family and your organization too. Leadership one-on-one is slowing down your life to the point that you begin to see the people around you. You begin to notice them. You begin to see when they're having when they're having a positive day, and you're able to encourage them, and you're able to say, man, you did a great job. Or when they're having a tough day and you sense that their energy is off. And you can say, are you okay? Because I'm noticing that you're not yourself today. Hurried leaders can't do that because they're too busy investing significant resources of time and energy in low output tasks. You all, if you're going to be an effective leader, you cannot lead without connection. And you cannot connect without a deliberate commitment to slow down. One of the things that slows you down naturally is a commitment to be an encourager. You know why? Because when you want to be encouraged, you have to find things that people are doing in their lives so that you can encourage them. And that requires that you go at a much slower speed in order to be present in their lives. Leadership is not about how much you get done, how active that you are, how full your schedule is. Leadership is about being deliberate in connecting your people and letting them know you care about them, you believe in them. And if that is not established, you cannot have accountability conversations. You cannot help them raise their game. And if you can't do that with your team, you can't do that with your company, your school district, your nonprofit, your church, or an NFL football team. Let me give you something else you can't do when you're in a hurry. You can't think through complex problems that have multiple layers. You can't think through it. And your problem solving becomes suspect. You've heard me say the two things that separate world-class companies from everybody else is how they solve problems and the quality of their decisions. And a company or a team that is going pedal to the metal cannot slow down to think. They cannot slow down to think. Great teams slow down to speed up. Great teams slow down to speed up. Here's the fourth one. You can't innovate. You can't innovate. You can't innovate because when you're in a hurry, you can't collaborate. You see, collaboration requires you to listen deeply and intensely to the person across the table who has a completely different point of view. and you're trying, and there may be an entire team of people who have different priorities, different filters, different experiences, and you are there to try to figure out how we create a win-win situation. And that requires you to stay engaged at the table and listen deeply and not check out. When you are in a hurry, your ears develop deafness. When you are in a hurry, your ears cannot listen. Without listening, you cannot collaborate. Without collaborating, you cannot innovate. Without innovation, you cannot stay relevant. There's a fifth one. When you're in a hurry, you can't connect with the person at a heart level to take relationship to a new ground. When you're in a hurry, you cannot connect with a person at a heart level to take a relationship to a new ground. You all, it's amazing what you can get done if your people know you love them. It may sound sappy, but it is how you lead in today's world. And the problem is, if you don't love yourself, you can't love on other people. And so here's another thing you can't do. You can't reflect when you're in a hurry. You can't meditate when you're in a hurry. You can't think when you're in a hurry. You can't pray and seek higher resources when you're in a hurry. You all, sometimes one of the best things you can do as a leader is to seek quiet. It is to seek quiet. The more responsible that you become as a leader, the more you must build margins in your life to give you deliberate, set aside time to think and to contemplate. The average CEO is paid to make 2 to 3 transformational decisions a year. That's it. 2 to 3 major transformational decisions a year. But that requires so much thought and so many conversations with people. What do you think? And deep listening and creating an environment that people will feel safe to tell you the truth while you seek out, what should I do? You cannot have a psychologically safe environment where people will tell you truth if you are not connected to them and your eyes are not locked in on them instead of your computer trying to multitask at the same time. So I'm going to very quickly, and you guys are going to, I hope that you're recording this, but I'm going to give you literally in 5 minutes 10 emotional changes to move from the tyranny of the hurried. Number 1, thinking time is strategic. It is not irresponsible. Number 2, move from reacting to pressure and pleasing people to asking what is on purpose before you decide to do it. Number 3, change your validation system from I'm valued if I'm pleasing people so I can be pleasing to myself to instead, my validation comes from honoring myself, being true to myself, and knowing that I am enough. That is number 4, changing your narrative from I am not enough to I am enough. Much of busy people who are in hurried lives have set themselves up because they're so afraid to tell people no, because they're afraid that they will not approve of them. Much of our being hurried is born out of emotional insecurity and a lack of love for ourselves. Number 5, activity is not leadership. It's all about impact, not how full my schedule is. You can actually have deep impact and have work-life balance in your life. You don't have to be a workaholic to be effective. In fact, if you are a workaholic, this is a recovering workaholic speaking. It is only a matter of time that you will blow your community away from you, and you will not be effective in any way because people will not follow you. That was the lesson of the first 20 years of my career. Number 6, it's about people, not tasks. If you connect with your people, you show genuine interest, you include them, you ask them, what are they thinking? How are you? I need your opinion. I want to empower you. I believe in you. If you empower people, they'll take care of the task. It's about the people, not the tasks. Number 7, reconsider the narrative of rest. We have been taught that if you are a real committed person, you'll sleep 5 or 6 hours to show that how tough you are. No, that's not being tough. That's foolish. Rest is like oil to an engine. Without it, that engine will seize up. There is no such thing as effective leadership without a commitment to rest, both at night and finding periods of quiet during the day. Rest is the elixir of greatness. Number 8, true yes people are no people. What? True yes people are no people. If you keep saying yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Eventually, your yeses will become nos. Because if you don't say no, your currency of time never increases, and you simply run out of time to fulfill your commitments. So if you want to be a yes person, to leave the tyranny of the hurried, you've got to begin to set boundaries and say, no, I'm sorry, but that I can't do that right now. I can't fulfill that commitment and fulfill this commitment. If you want to be truly a yes person, you must begin to surround yourself setting boundaries with the word no. Number 9, avoid 8 through 10 people. 8 through 10 people, 8, 9s, and 10 people are those people who suck the life out of you. They are people who pull from you and pull from you and pull from you, and no matter what, it's never enough, and the demands will never stop. Do you have people in your life who pull from you and do not give back? If you do, you may want to consider the level of investment they're making into your life, because they're pulling you away from purpose. They're pulling you away from connection with other people because they're so needy. And lastly, Dr. Paul, my dear friend, a bunch of folks were down in Knoxville watching this. He talks about success is found in the pause. Commit to the power of the pause. Pause. There are times that you got to take the foot off the pedal. There are times that before you speak, you better pause. There are times that before you say yes, you better pause. Deliberate people practice the power of the pause. My commitment is that you will move from a hurried life where everyone else's expectations are driving your life to a deliberate life where the power of purpose is pulling you through every day to the high impact life. I hope this is helpful. I hope that you're finding some nuggets. I hope that, I hope that you'll take a look at this. How do I become a person not of relentless activity, but of deep impact that changes the lives of the people that I lead. I appreciate you all. Bill, you want to take over? Thank you, you all.
Thank you, Dr. Fred. Wow, once again, he's talking directly to me. Isn't that crazy? That I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I used to take a weird sense, I still do, take a weird sense of pride in saying, I don't like golfing because I'm out there and there's too many things I've got to be doing. I can't relax and all those, you know, I've said no to my kids to go golfing because slow down. Wow, what a message. What a message. So thank you to Dr. Fred. One other announcement for us here. Mark your calendars. The week of June 9th, 2025 is our second annual conference, InitiativeOne conference. Hopefully all of you can attend and bring a bunch of friends along with you. And we'll get more information out, but it is the week of June 9th. Also join us in September for our think tank entitled Incredible Transformation, Moving a Team from Incompetence to Excellence. I think we all know a little bit about that as we've all had experiences that way, so it'll be a great one. Thanks again for being here today. Thanks again for being online. I know Fred was actually a little bit larger on the screen than he was in life, so I think the message might have even been a little bit better, but thank you for being here today. And as always, you're welcome to hang around after for questions and answers and having discussion, but thanks again.